Hey folks, it's Florida Deer. Today we're doing a slightly off-topic video, although a decent number of my videos do include stuff dealing with my truck or my trailer, as well as the tractors. This one is basically focused on refreshing the 5.0 Coyote V8, and when I say refreshing, what I mean is we're going to replace the coil packs and the spark plugs, okay? And the reason why we're doing this is because I would be going down the road and there would be some bumps in the road. And this would happen mostly at low RPM, like under 2,000, where the truck is in 6th gear, and a lot of times when I was towing, right? So I was thinking, gosh, you know, that's a lot of bumps in this road. And then I'm thinking more and more, I'm like, this road was like recently paved. It shouldn't have any bumps. Other times it doesn't have any bumps. So I was thinking maybe something's wrong with the transmission and then my suspension. And then I thought, well, it's at different gears. It's only under 2,000 RPM. So it'll happen in 2nd gear, 3rd gear, 6th gear, whatever. You know, before you downshift or when you don't downshift and the engine is just a little bit taxed, it just goes boom, 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 boom. So I'm thinking it's a misfire. And it has 181,000 miles. The spark plugs have been done before, but the coil packs have not. And I was trying to get to 200,000 miles, but it's really gotten worse and worse in the past, like, say, week or two. So I broke down and got some new coils from AutoZone, and these look like they're supposed to look like, and also got 8 new spark plugs. I figured, you know, I tried to get 100,000 miles out of them, but 80 is probably good. And since I'm doing this anyway, I don't want to have to take apart the coils, because you do have to kind of take off the coils to replace the spark plugs, and it's just a pain to do that again. So I figured I would just go ahead and do this, and maybe I'll do these again at, you know, another 100,000 miles and do the plugs every 50 and keep it a little bit more current. I don't know. It seems like if I'm towing, like, you know, 10% of the time, it does seem to, you know, tax the engine a little bit more. Plus the engine's not getting any newer. And I think it runs just fine for 181,000 miles. But, you know, it's time to do a little bit of maintenance, so that's what we're going to do now. So I may not show the whole thing, but it's pretty simple. Again, I've actually taken off a valve cover once on the other side. So this is the passenger side. So you got coil pack there, and then further back there. You can see they just have this one bolt on them. That's all that holds them together. I will have probably more trouble with this stuff. They have little, like, plastic pieces. You can tell this one's even broke. So I don't know how many other ones are broke. And then on the driver's side, same deal, basically. I can't remember. I think it's actually a little more accessible over here. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And basically those will come off. I'll plug the new ones in, take out the spark plugs, put those in, and then just reinsert the coil boots back onto the top of the spark plug and put those little, you know, bolts back in, and basically it should be that easy. We'll see. Hey folks, so as I start to take the coils out and start taking the plugs out, and then basically you can see taking out the bolts first, and then I'll try to unplug the coils and so forth and get that going. The total footage I had here was about 56 or 57 minutes. So as you can see, the video is only about 15 minutes, and obviously you can see that I, you know, advanced this at 6 times the speed. So to give you an idea, you know, I meandered through this for about an hour or so because I didn't have all the footage, and some of the footage I was meandering. So, you know, just know that you could probably do it in, you know, a half an hour if you were pretty good at it, or maybe even, you know, much quicker. I'm sure some mechanic will, you know, that does it for a living will respond and, you know, say he can do it in 12 minutes, and that's probably true. But it, you know, it took me a little bit longer and, you know, trying to do these, you know, videos and stuff where I'm showing you as much as I can to try not to, you know, to try to give you a good idea. And then here you can see my thing, my tripod was panning down because I didn't have it set right. And as you can see, I have the little steering hardware there that's a little corroded, but it's not been any more corroded than when I got the truck. So, you know, for any of you that want to point that out and be alarmed by it, don't. But anyways, these things came out relatively easy. There's a lot of suction on these coils as they come out, and they all came out pretty easily. The last two cylinders on each bank were just a little bit more difficult because you're, you know, reaching further back there, and, you know, you're just, you know, the firewall insulation stuff starts to, you know, interfere with your operation, as well as that you're reaching a little bit further. And I don't have one of those, you know, cool looking creepers like my buddy has that kind of roll, like, you know, under the, you know, the base is under, and then the part that you kind of lay on goes over the engine bay, which is really cool. I wanted to get one, but then I saw that they were like $200 or $300, so I was like, well, you know what, I'll keep doing it the hard way, because that's a lot of money. And here's another shot where my, you know, camera was slowly but surely panning down, and I didn't notice that until later when I was trying to get it fixed and stuff. So I think the replacement bolts that I had for the coils were 8mm, and then I had actually one original stock bolt, and I want to say that was 9mm. So if you were, you know, trying to figure out what size to use, those were the sizes, and I was just using 1/4" drive for that, you know, before the camera panned down to where you couldn't see anything about what I was doing there. So anyway, just wanted to kind of give you that. And as far as the equipment that I got, or the material, it was, you know, obviously 8 spark plugs and GKs, and they were about $11 a piece, which is probably the most I've ever spent for spark plugs. So the guy gave me another selection, and they were actually $12.50 a piece or something. So I'm like, well, you know, I guess I'll go with the $11 spark plugs. And I remember when spark plugs used to be like, you know, $1 or $2, maybe $3, and if you got fancy ones, they were like $5 or $6, or maybe like $4 or something. But obviously that was, you know, probably 20 or 30 years ago. So, you know, here we are with $11 spark plugs, you know, and it's not even a, you know, fancy European or Asian engine, you know, that requires fancy stuff. So, and then I think the coil packs, the, you know, pack of 8 was $351. So I think all told, I think later on in the video I, you know, put up this about $475 to do this maintenance, and I'm not sure why coils are that expensive, but they are. So, you know, I just, you know, have that in mind when you go to purchase this stuff. Okay, so all the coils are off, all the plugs are out. So I always tell my wife, oh, I'll just do this real quick job, and then I'll be right back inside. I mean, I guess it went pretty quick, but, you know, I don't know, like 5 or 6 minutes on each side, but that's still slower than I thought it should have gone. So anyway, so over here we have the new coils with their spark plug boot goo on them, and we have the spark plugs with the anti-seize already put on them. Used one package, so I just used the whole thing on there. And I didn't have a whole package of that, but I had enough to put plenty on each of those. So anyway, I will get started on this now. Spark plugs first, obviously, and then the coils. Now this part of the job should go quickly. And in case you're wondering, these are 0.049 to 0.053 gap, which to me is a huge gap. I don't remember that being that big last time, but that's what it said. I just put them at 0.50, so I can be a little off and some be in the mid-range there somewhere. So anyways, we'll get started with the installation. Okay, so we'll start with the back ones first. These were the biggest pain in the butt because they were, well, further back there, but also they required a smaller extension. We'll just go hand tight. I guess on one of the back ones I might tighten those quickly. And then that way I don't have to go back to that one. Oh, come on. All right, so that's what the new ones look like, and that's what the old ones look like. And if this video helped you, then you can hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. I mean, I don't know that there's going to be a lot of people that are watching it, but you know, I mean, it's relatively simple, if a little bit time consuming to take care of it, at least for me. I'm kind of slow, but, and if you want to see more videos about the F-150 and mostly about my tractors, then you can hit the subscribe button as well. I appreciate you watching. Thanks, bye. Hey folks, did the road test. This thing no longer has any horsepower. All it has is firepower. This Coyote is howling again. Man, I'm telling you what, I should replace coils every 100,000, not wait for that 180. I did this once with a 4.6 liter, which is nothing like this engine. There was a big difference there. Same here, fixed every It's a hesitation issue, no missing. Man, this thing definitely can rock and roll again at 181,000 miles. So anyways, that's the update. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.